Some people say that within the first 90 seconds, a hiring manager knows whether or not they're going to hire you. Is this true?
In my experience, it's proven to be true for the most part.
Oof. Why should I hire you? 5 words, immense pressure. What answer are hiring managers looking for when they ask this question?
They're looking for a combination of experience, hard skills, and soft skills, personality fit. They're looking for what you will bring to their team and what you will take in return as well, and how you're going to be complementary to the rest of their organization.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go a little bit into your resume here because it's incredible. Amazon Music, Warner Brothers, Capitol Records, EMI, AWOL. You've worked for just some of the top names in the music industry for almost 20 years. That's a long time. So you've hired a lot of talented people. And I want to ask you, from your experience, what is it that you look for in an interview?
I look for a variety of things. I want to hire people that are complementary to the existing team. I don't want sort of an army of robots that are all performing the same function. So I'm looking for complementary skill sets and complementary experiences and backgrounds and personalities, really. Obviously, that is in addition to the ability to do the job at a sort of basic level. But I really look for people that are going to bring me more to the team in a holistic sort of view.
And you mentioned hard skills a little bit earlier in our first question. So I want to ask you, how much emphasis do you put on soft skills versus hard skills when someone's in an interview? What are you looking for?
I think it depends a little bit on the level of the position. I think hard skills are, you acquire them over time. So my expectation for a junior level candidate is not that they're going to come with a very long sort of resume of hard skills. I look for that passion. I look for that sort of, personality that I believe is going to add value to the organization. As you kind of graduate in your career path, obviously the positions get a little more complicated and the demand is higher for more, a broader set of hard skills. So it's a sliding scale.
You've conducted just a lot of interviews. You've seen a lot. So I'd like to ask you, what are 3 lessons that you've learned along the way that maybe you wish your 25-year-old self would have known?
Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Going into a new job, I think it's easy to be overwhelmed by the new environment, the new sort of experience, and be very kind of cautious about your approach to that conversation and that interview. But be upfront about the things you don't know. But couple that with the passion to want to learn the things you don't know. So I think that's really important. Be on time, but not for the sort of basic reason of being on time. Punctuality shows you how you feel about other people in the organization and the respect that you bring to the table. It shows you how you're going to behave as part of that organization. And then also understand that you're dealing with individuals. Not everyone's going to have the same background, personality, experience that you've had. You can't paint people with the same brush. So really understanding that, you have to treat people as individuals and not a monolith.
So some people say that within the first 90 seconds, a hiring manager knows whether or not they're going to hire you. Is this true?
In my experience, it's proven to be true for the most part.
Oof.
Yeah.
So you got to make that 90 seconds strong.
Well, it's a function of, again, it goes back to do I want to work with this person? I think you can kind of quickly tell whether you're going to have a rapport and whether you're going to want to be in the same office space with them for the next foreseeable future. So, that's the soft skill part of the conversation, right? Not coming in too hot into an interview and making sure you sort of read the room first before you start applying pressure in the interview.
If you're looking for a new job and you don't have the Indeed mobile app, you're seriously missing out. Click the link below or search Indeed in the App Store.
Have you just ever been completely surprised in an interview where maybe someone comes in with the perfect resume, perfectly qualified for the job, but maybe in the interview it's just not working out? Or the opposite, where someone comes in with maybe not so many skills, but they convince you otherwise? Has it ever happened?
I absolutely have had that experience. And it was, a couple of individuals, maybe more than a couple over the years, who had incredible resumes on paper. They came into the interview and wouldn't stop talking. Basically, they were telling me everything about the job, what they were going to do, what was their experience. Like, it just was like a one-sided conversation, which didn't open up any room for an actual dialogue and for me to kind of, go deeper into any particular area. So that overconfidence can be a killer sometimes.
Did you ever see it on the other side where maybe you decided to give somebody a chance, they don't have a lot of experience, but you were surprised during the interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's possible to prove yourself in an interview?
It really is, yeah, it really is. Once you have an opportunity to go a little bit deeper into people's personalities and their experiences, again, if you find those right moments of, this is someone that could be really complementary to my team because they bring this point of view or this, this sort of background, you're not going to get that in the first 90 seconds, right? You're going to have to go a little bit deeper than that.
So with the pandemic happening, there's just been an influx of virtual interviews happening, and this is something that seems like it's going to be continuing for the foreseeable future. So my question for you is, what are some 2 ways that this is good for job applicants, and just maybe what are 2 things that maybe might not be so good?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely feels like it will continue. I think this is the new normal. I believe it helps applicants to cast a wider net. I think it allows people to look at opportunities which they may previously not had a chance to look at. I think it gives applicants the opportunity to work from different locations and maintain a healthy work-life balance and, in some ways improve the quality of life. Those are all great things. You need to have that in a healthy, professional, environment. The downsides are that it's difficult to build rapport, through a computer screen. I think it's difficult to understand personalities and people's true sort of behavior patterns from a very quick virtual interview. And then there's a downside for applicants because they don't really know what they're walking into, quite literally, physically. It's nice to know what the office looks like, where your desk is, what's down the hallway, and have an understanding of what your environment's going to be.
What are some other ways that you can prove yourself as the best candidate in a virtual interview?
Follow the conversation. Don't, trail off and go down rabbit holes. I think the one benefit, I suppose, of virtual interviews is they can be efficient. Use your time wisely, and have a mastery of your own experiences and be able to articulate that effectively.
Being prepared. Ultimately.
Being prepared, yeah.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. That's what my dad always told me.
I think that sounds about right.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
And how important is it to follow up with hiring managers after you're done with an interview? And what is the best way that someone could do that?
Honestly, critical. Absolutely critical. The smallest sort of signal and one of the most important things that you can do. Email, I think is probably the most efficient and most professional way to do it. If you already have an established rapport with the hiring manager where you guys are on text or some sort of, chat communication, that's fine too. But I think sending a quick email the same day saying thank you, appreciate your time, and I'm, excited about the opportunity, as simple as that, it's the right thing to do.
And at the end of just about every interview, there always comes that question. Do you have any questions for me? And how do you answer that? And is there a good way to answer that? What is your advice on that?
I remember being in a position of having asked that question, and I always wanted to know what the hiring manager's vision was for the team and for the department and for the company. Because if the hiring manager can't articulate that, then I'm not sure if I want to be part of that team. It feels like I would be walking into something that's unsure and unsecure. So I think that's a really fair question to ask.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
I feel like this is always the hardest part. Thumbnails.
It's so not natural, right?